Oh, there we go. Well, let's tune into this one. So he hits a button, and now that brings in God's presence and his mindset and his, think of ultimate clarity and wisdom and loving kindness and compassion and faith and beauty, all encompassed in one being. And now that he sees you're in a place where you might be able to receive some of that, then he imparts that to you. He hits the A button on his remote, answers your prayer. All of a sudden he sees the person on the screen just getting either peaceful or crying tears of joy or thanksgiving, or being able to see something clearly and in a way that will bring peace in their life, or renewed faith that doesn't look at circumstance but looks for opportunities for the divine attributes to be displayed. Then you're pleasing God. Now, obviously, I say all that somewhat facetiously, because obviously God doesn't have a screen with 3 million screens on it. I mean, at the most, he probably, has 1 million. Excuse me. So, to that, for those of you who think that that this idea of pleasing God is just something we created in our need for a creator, and we created this idea of this benevolent creator who really cares about my personal experiences and circumstances and life and thoughts and dreams and aspirations and plans and potentialities. I would just say I understand your reluctance to believe in a God that would be so made in our image. But I really think that silly picture of God is closer to the truth than one where there is no one to pray to, there is no one to ask, there is no one who knows you. There is no one to send a Savior to you. I find that image to be much less likely. Now, why do I say that? Is it just because I have some crazy theory and I'm just one of thousands of people who have their own particular view of what spirituality is? No, mine, like I told you earlier, mine is more coming from the Judeo-Christian foundation, and mine in particular is a more Pentecostal Christian. And I've just seen in my life what to me appear to be changed lives as a result of people taking God at His word. And by that I mean believing what is spoken of in the scriptures of Jesus, and trusting God for things, and asking for things in faith, and taking steps of faith, and denying yourself sinful pleasures, and looking to be a servant for the good of all, and for the support of other people's growth and well-being. I've just seen evidence that that's an energy and a power that, from my standpoint, does not appear to be manufactured. Now, having said that, I have seen some manufactured stuff. And by that I mean, people will kind of whip themselves up into kind of an emotional frenzy and then call it the word of the Lord. And it just isn't. Not because it's impossible to do that, but because I don't think that if your heart is right, not right, and your life is, you're living a mostly selfish life, not very faithful, then I don't think your words are going to come off with the weight and import that you want them to, so that people will believe what you say and might make a change in their life. However, I think if you're doing everything in your conscience that you know to do, in trying to be right, do right, think right, those Buddhist, sort of a Buddhist way of looking at things, having the right mind, having right thoughts, and you're doing everything you can for that to be a reality, then I think you're in a better place to be, for God to share with you His divine nature. I mean, and I think in that sense, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because it's sort of like the law of attraction idea. You're seeking compassion by being compassionate. You are thankful, and the more thankful you are, the more the thanksgiving just grows. Whereas in a similar way, the more you serve yourself and your own ideas and your own pleasure and your own whims, then that's kind of the vibe that you get off, and then that's what you attract. Things that are impermanent, changeable, able to be manipulated. So, I'm saying all that to say that we can please God. And you can put a smile on God's face. You can warm His heart.
Oh yeah, baby.
You can make Him laugh. You can surprise Him. And you can give Him a hug.
Oh yeah, baby.
And you can get hugged back.
Oh yeah.
And the more you experience that, the more you end up sharing in its nature and become more compassionate, wiser, more loving, stronger, more courageous, more faithful, as a result of staying in that river, in that flow of openness to divine characteristics, divine being, unchanging, eternal things of the Spirit.